road,
Yes.
came over here, and somebody shot him with a rifle.
Wow.
A guy named Harrison. I don't have a resident named Harrison, so he's done something, got my ear.
Yeah.
I gotta find another.
There's one sitting down at about,
There's a lot of
1100.
Bobs up there.
Yeah.
A lot of Steves.
Yeah, he knew all the
Kept
places to
here
hide.
overnight.
Really?
Well,
Not no
it's
big
just
game. Tell
the
me.
way it is. I mean, you know, I mean, if you,
I don't know, but I saw
I
three of
had
them
shit
yesterday
job for
morning when I
10
went
years
to
up
walk,
there, but
and this morning at the
if
exact
they
same
had a
place, the
good
exact
crowd
same
there
time,
and
I
two
saw
of the
two
guys that
of
wanted
them.
to hustle,
Yeah.
you got
And
done
when
in
I went
3.5
out
hours.
later this afternoon, oh, there's the third.
Let me tell you, you had to work it out.
Yeah,
1100 boo
when I finished,
Yeah.
at,
Okay.
I
Make a note of that.
went to the United States for 1
Make
year.
a note of that.
And then I went to U of V.
Mhm.
And while I was at U of V, I
Kate
did
won't be
two
here,
side
Carol won't
jobs,
be here.
and one of them was when I
You
worked.
got a 4-H meeting.
Yeah, that's what.
And I come in down there and I already had just waiting to go to get done with my schooling. I had
Did you share the phone?
one more semester to do.
Did you share the phone?
No.
Because the
No.
guy told me the math teacher already had my license already.
She called me. When
Yeah.
I
I don't think I can pull a piss out of a boot until you had both hands.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody to the Darstock November Town Council meeting. You all rise for pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I guess minutes from last month's meeting. Miss Mallory.
Do you have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Financial reports.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Clerk treasurer's report.
Bills for the month first.
Thought you just normally pass those along.
You vote every month on them. Do you have a motion on the floor to accept the bills for the month?
We will have. Right? Have a second?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries.
November 4th through the 6th, I attended the AIM 3-day virtual academy. They discussed a ton on those 3 days. I tried to forward some to the council, but it was an enormous amount of information. It was really good. I submitted our 2026 budget to the DLGF before the deadline. Robert Norris reviewed it a few weeks ago again. And then I got with the RDA's Vice President Mark Hudson at Bach Financial to submit the annual lease rental affidavit from Bach, which he needed to complete the budget before he could submit it to state. That is a letter that we have to submit stating there's not sufficient funds available to retain its taxable lease rental revenue bond series. So that completed everything in our 5-month budget project. We did already receive our 1782 notice, which is approval from the state for the budget. They approved every line we had, and I went ahead and signed the approval and submitted it before the deadline. Next month, we'll need to do the payroll ordinance. I sent the payroll ordinance from last year to our HR Solutions. because she has to go through and make sure we are still compliant with all the wage and labor laws. And then we need to pass it before the end of the year because we're required to upload it to Gateway before December 31st. The RDC has a spending plan report that's due by December 1st. I've sent notices to the council and the RDC. Normally Brandon Robbins, the CPA at Reedy Financial, handles this because he also does all the bank recs and everything else for the RDA and the RDC. So all he needs from the RDC is what the actual plan is.
I've got a question on that. The RDC actually, it doesn't have any money. I mean, if we need money, we have to go to the RDA and they find the funds for whatever project that we got going on.
You have, what is it,
We got
17,000.
We got the insurance money,
So
which
that's
is,
what you have to write down,
uh-huh.
and you need to ask Brandon Roberts at Reedy about that, because I don't know.
Okay, I actually sent Caitlin Schaefer at Reedy an email 3 days ago asking her about that. As far as, do we have to file this if we're using insurance money, which is not town money?
It
Per
doesn't
se.
matter where you get the money. It's
But I asked her to double check that and no response from her at all. But she's been that way for the last 2 or 3 emails I've sent her, so not real responsive from Reedy.
Okay, well, you might try Brandon Robbins, and I can send you, hi,
Sorry, mate.
I can send you his email.
Please,
If he's the
please
one
do
that's
so,
doing
yeah.
it.
And his name is Brandon Robbins?
That's on the reports that I've been sending you from Gateway. You'll see every time he uploads your financial reports, his name and emails right behind it. The street superintendent has a street report that's due December 1st. Year to date, the town has brought in $370,000 and town expenditures were $242,000. That's not counting the bond. Year to date, the sewer bills have brought in $623,000 and we have spent $729,000. $372,000 of that went to Evansville Sewer for our monthly payment. I attended the local leaders meeting in Evansville last week, and then coming up December 3rd is the town managers workshop. December 9th is on HEA 1459. And then December 11th is a council members virtual seminar. So you guys let me know if you want to register for any of that. I'll get you registered. Oh, that was it. That was the last I had.
That virtual seminar was when?
That is December 11th, I believe.
Sorry, guys, we have some severe phone problems.
I sound like you have a crab bag. for all
It's on
people show
Thursday.
up for December's phone. Be a surprise bag for everybody.
Okay. Fire department report?
Okay, last month we had 9 total calls in town limits, 5 medical transports to the hospital, 2 motor vehicle accident with injuries. We had one fire call that ended up being a controlled burn, somebody burned some leaves and brush. And then we had 1 community paramedic follow up and visit. So our average response time was 4 minutes and 37 seconds from dispatch to arrival. That's it. So much.
All right. Sheriff's department?
We had 37 extra patrols, 1 traffic stop with a warning, 3 reports, which were a death investigation, a theft report, and a crash report, 1 business check, 1 home security check, 6 crashes, and 1 neighborhood check.
No tickets, no crashes?
Most of them were property damage.
All right. Maintenance report. Okay, since last meeting, we had 46 locations. Beg pardon?
I think Noah had something he wanted to add.
I'm sorry.
Well, you're apologize for the phone, because I can't understand. I'm really good about turning the silence off if interrupting your meeting. I apologize.
That's okay.
I wanted to address a couple of things, thank you. I appreciate it. So a couple of things. Number one, to thank everyone on the board for their funding with the opioid dollars that was available through the filtering in from the opioid settlements through the town council and the hard work of the attorney here in getting that agreement filed. We've been able to utilize some of the funding that Darmstadt provided us to fund the mental health program and the peer support program in the jail. Two programs that we also help to reduce jail recidivism, the propensity of folks to come back into the facility. Additionally, I wanted to make you aware, for those of you who don't know, we gave Darmstadt a little shout out at our recent unveiling of the new litter patrol program. So we now have this van, which is, it's pretty gaudy looking, but it's the point across, it says litter patrol on the side of it. This uses work release participants and individuals who have been court ordered to complete community service. They will be riding in this 16-passenger van, which is pulling a pretty large trailer behind it, and they'll be hitting problem areas around the county to include the town of Darmstadt, picking up trash on the side of the road. And so we'll certainly be making an availment the next Darmstadt cleanup day, but more importantly, beyond that, anytime that someone wants to report an issue with trash being on the side of the road within the town limits, just call, and I'll give you the number whenever you're ready. It is 812-421-6204. It's 421-6204. Just report the problem area, and we'll get it out there as soon as possible. And so it's already had quite an impact. We've been averaging about 30 bags of trash a day so far. And so we hope that it'll have a visible impact in the community along some of these problem roadways that have been neglected for far too long. So.
Super, great.
Now that's across the entire county.
It is.
Yeah.
One van, the entire county, operating about 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. We'd love to scale it up, but we'll see if funding becomes available for that. But this is a good first step. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
No,
Thank you very
yeah.
much.
On to the maintenance report. Since last meeting, had 46 locates, 23 service calls. The trucks are ready. Hopefully they don't need it with 60 tons of salt. We've got the brine tanks full. And like I said, hopefully we won't need to use any of that, but we're ready. We mowed the north side of town. We've got 3 meters installed on various different well users to check the outflow of well water that's going into our sewer systems, to check and make sure that we're billing them appropriately for what, because we have no control over how much well water they're using. So that's, I'm hoping, will help with our sewer billing. We repaired a broken pressure main on a corner of Hoeing and Darmstadt Road. Still no confirmation on their MS4, I guess, getting out of the requirements for MS4. I'm assuming that we've been accepted and we don't have to be compliant with MS4. Alan Franz, as far as replacing this, not replacing, but putting a pipe in this out here on Hoeing Road, we've been pushed to sometime in December. Pretty busy guy. I mean, he told us if we had somebody else that we wanted to have replace that or put in that pipe and do the dirt work, where he wouldn't be upset. So I've contacted a couple of people and they're about double what he is. So I'm suggesting we wait for him to do that, unless somebody else wants to try to find something else.
What would it be to do it in-house? I know Mick don't want to.
I don't know. I mean, whether he doesn't want to really doesn't matter, but, I mean,
Yeah. Well, we'll get there when we get there.
yeah, so, I mean, we can see how late in December it's gonna be and go from there. But, that's maintenance report.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes, sir. Moving on to resident comments. Carol's not here, so. Anybody? Jim?
Let Josh give us a little input on Superior Court he went on.
Oh, you don't have time for that.
No? That's something different, isn't it?
Supreme Court.
Maybe later, right?
Maybe later, yeah. But I don't want to waste the town some time on that.
Clint Lamb,
Put that pipe in.
he's the AIM Field Advisor for Indiana.
I'm a lot of things. I'm a lot of things to a lot of different people. Thanks for having me this evening. My name is Clint Lamb. I'm a recovering public official.
I have been sober from the mayor's office in Sullivan for 22 months, after serving 3 terms as mayor of the city of Sullivan. I also served on the Sullivan City Council, and before that, I was a park board member, so wore a lot of different hats with local government. After the last municipal cycle, I got smart and got out. You all decided to stay involved. No, I'm just teasing. I decided not to seek a 4th term, and at that time, Matt Greller, the executive director of Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, which some of you that have been around a long time know it's formerly IAC, the Indiana Association of Cities and Towns, asked me to come on board. We had, during the last election cycle, 51 new mayors out of 120. We had a lot of new clerk treasurers. We're continuing to have a lot more clerk treasurers, kind of a revolving thing there. Town board members, a lot of new town board members, a lot of city council members as well. And those seem to continue to kind of a revolving door at places as well. So basically, he asked us to come on board. We have 470 members that are in AIM from all across the state, from class 1 cities, class 2 cities, class 3 cities in our towns. And there's 2 of us. Former Mayor Joe Tollimer from the city of Warsaw. He kind of takes care of Northern Indiana, and I kind of take care of Southern Indiana. So I apologize. It's taken me 22 months to finally get to Darmstadt. I have been through. I popped by, and I believe I talked with their maintenance crew here one day when they were here. So I made a lot of one-stops. But I'm trying to get in the habit of just popping in on town board meetings so I can just keep updated. I'm fairly acquainted with your area. I work with Mayor Stephanie down in the city council down in Evansville, and Mayor Steve in Mount Vernon. I've worked with the town of New Harmony. I've worked with the town of Poseyville, from Owensville to Griffin. You name it. One day I'm sitting in the city of Indianapolis talking with Mayor Hogsett, and the next day I'm in Griffin, a town of 130. So you just kind of never know. I pretty much go from Sullivan all the way over to the Ohio line. So like this week, AIM has been doing, and I'm here to kind of give you a quick AIM update, but most importantly, I just want to hear from you to see how things are going in your community, what AIM can do for you, because that's what our organization does. And my role is I'm your advocate. I'm your advisor. I'm your advocate. I'm phone a friend. Like I said, I don't have a job description. If something pops up, you just kind of have a question on something, no offense to your legal counsel or anything else, but if just like best practices, I'm not an attorney, so I can't give you legal advice. That's what he's here for. But just best practices and things like that. I don't have a formal presentation tonight. My presentations are more conversational, kind of come back and forth. But to give you a quick update, as Mallory mentioned, I just saw her just last week in Evansville. We've been having these regional conversations to discuss the ill effects of Senate Enrolled Act 1, which quite frankly, something I never really, as a local official, you're always kind of trying to work with or combat the state legislature or different legislation that comes through. But this one has been something that's pretty unprecedented. We haven't seen. It's going to be pretty detrimental in a lot of communities. And I'm not here to debate whether it was a good idea or a bad idea to try to save taxpayers $300 a year. That all sounds great on paper, but you're the ones that are now going to have to take care of that, make sure that that pipe does get taken care of, and that you do have the funds and things like that, that your inter-local agreement with the sheriff's department can stay up, that you're, I believe you're in the fire territory here?
Yes.
Yes.
So to make sure that you're going to be able to financially support that, what does that look like in 2026? What does that look like 2027? And what does that look like going forward? The shift from property taxes to income taxes, essentially. You're a town of under 3,500. So how the current legislation will affect you, and I apologize if you've already read about this and know about this, but how that'll affect the town of Darmstadt is, as Senate Enrolled Act 1 is in place right now, each and every year, you will have to go to the county council and ask for your appropriation, and they will make the decision whether or not they decide to how much to give you for your current lit structure, your local income tax structure. Currently, your clerk treasurer can vouch, you get a set amount every year that comes to you, and that's what you use. I'm not sure exactly what you utilize that for. You mentioned redevelopment commission, so I don't know all the details of your community, so I'm speaking more in general here. But that might be great. Hopefully you have a great relationship with your county council. Hopefully they just love Darmstadt and they want to give you all the money in the world and can help you. That's not always the case in the other 92 counties. So, I understand in theory trying to work together is great, but we're your advocate to make sure that, maybe you can get a set amount of dollars every year. Like I said, cities and towns, 3,500 population to 7,000, they can opt into adopting their own local income tax. So I guess the silver lining of the legislation is that's great. We can control our own destiny and not be at the mercy of somewhere else. At the same time, at the current legislation, the cities and towns can only adopt a 1.2% tax. And what we're seeing in 80% of communities, what you're going to lose on the property tax, and since the new local income tax system, your current system totally gets wiped out, and it gets reset with this new, even a city that passes a 1.2% tax, local tax, and a city or town that passes with their property tax laws, they're still not gonna make up for even their loss. So that's part of the legislation, and I should have brought you some materials this evening, and I apologize, I forgot. I did ask Mallory if she could get those to you, some things that we distributed where you can
Cards.
see, yeah, I have a card, a total breakdown of all the legislation. So that is a very short version, quick update. I'm not here to scare you, but I'm here to let you know that there is a storm brewing, and you guys are gonna have to probably make some very difficult decisions. I highly recommend that you speak to your financial advisors, that you utilize financial advisors and professional firms, whether you're having a good rapport with them or not. We can assist with that, maybe outside of the meeting of trying to find some folks that might be a good fit for your community. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly what your utility situation is. Right now, I understand that I try to do a little spying on you, a little homework before I get here, but all the communities, maybe you have some I&I issues or some different things going on. So that's a situation, obviously, that I highly recommend that you bring in good people to surround you and help you and assist you through some of these complications, especially with the financial situation that cities and towns could be facing. You definitely need to have the right team around you. So, yes, I will leave you all with one of my cards. I believe I met this town board member at a regional roundtable, but to kind of get back on the AIM thing, we, as Mallory mentioned, all the different things that we do. We do have a town manager association. We have a Indiana League of Municipal Lawyers that you can belong to. We are just a resource to you to step up and help out, because even though every town is a little bit different, we all face similar problems. The town of Darmstadt and the city of Terre Haute, the only difference is they might have more zeros in their budget, right? But we all do the same thing, right? We all take care of public safety. We want to plow the streets. We want to make sure the trash is picked up. We want to make sure that the parks are taken care of, that the quality of life is here in your community. So folks like my son and I can come and eat at the Darmstadt Inn like we did earlier tonight, spend money in your community, hopefully, before we came here. And by the way, this is my son Dawson. He's been kind of traveling around the state with me. He just graduated college back in May. So he's come back to the Hoosier State, and he graduated from Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida.
Okay.
And everybody's like, and you came back to Indiana for a bit down there. But,
Pretty cold here.
yeah. So he kind of keeps notes for me, because like I said, we do have 470 members, and there's only Joe and I. So I'm trying to keep all this in. But being a small city mayor, you kind of have to wear all hats anyway and juggle, have a lot of irons in the fire. So that's what I try to do.
So could you help us with like riverboat taxes? I mean, like, we don't receive them. I think we're the only town within the state of Indiana that doesn't receive riverboat taxes, and we got,
Riverboat sharing.
yes, and we have one
Do
right
you know why that would be the case?
Haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
There's a flaw in this little statute, and it's not a mistake by the town, it's a statutory fix where the town's getting screwed.
Okay.
They did it years ago, way back before
Right.
Astar moved in, so, yeah,
Okay.
none of us were here, so we don't know what happened.
But you think it was written into the legislation at the time? For some reason, there was a glitch where you were left out?
Sure.
But you feel like you're,
People know.
because, I mean, I'm not saying that you are the only town, but it's the first time I've heard of this. I just assume that everybody has a share of riverboat sharing. So, yeah, that's definitely something. So it's little things like that. When I leave my card, you can shoot me an email, you can shoot me a text. I am a resource to you. I can try to either answer your question, or I can point you in the right direction to get that. I don't know if that would take an act to the legislature. I don't know who are your legislators here?
Would it be
Alex
Jim
Burton,
Toms?
or he's Cincinnati, or
Jim
Evansville?
Toms, maybe?
Okay. Yeah,
Just the one I'm familiar with.
your state senator?
Yeah, the two senators are Jim Tomes and Anita Becker, then the
Becker.
representatives, Matt Hostetler, Tim O'Brien is in the area.
Okay.
So those are gonna
So,
be.
yeah, so that would be my recommendation, to reach out to every single one of those to make sure they're aware of that, which is something that AIM also tries to do. And I'm trying to do this in Worth County, I've been working on this in Spencer County. I'm just now starting to have conversations in DuBois County. Similar situations, just starting in Posey about all of our municipalities communicating with each other on a regular basis, you know, like the town of Newburgh and the town of Linville. Because we hear a lot about this regionalism, and you see the regional dollars, the ready dollars that were put out. And you mentioned an RDA a while ago. Is that EREP? Is that your RDA or?
No, that's our Lido.
Lido, okay. But your RDA, you have your own
Yes.
redevelopment,
Yes.
development authority, okay. I was thinking regional development authority that distributed your ready money. But I guess my point is, we hear a lot about regionalism, how these 5 or 6 counties need to work together. And quite frankly, in my opinion, we haven't figured out countyism yet. That's my term I made. That's a Clintism, countyism, where, you know, exactly kind of just having communication with each other. AIM's a good tool because you can talk to town board members all over the state of Indiana. But sometimes, while we're all similar, sometimes closer to home, you can kind of, I know down in this area, utility rates have been kind of a hot, heavy issue, right, over the last few months. So, like I said, from Sullivan, I try to keep track of kind of the overall what's going on everywhere. Some towns are doing very well. Some towns are hitting it hard. They're coming to each town board meeting and they're working with their Main Street groups, and it's a kumbaya and everybody's getting along and moving in the right direction. And there's some places, quite frankly, they're just fairly dysfunctional. So it just kind of depends. So my job is just to kind of come in. I don't have an agenda other than to be your friend and help you and work with whatever you need. So.
Another question, are there required training for council members that's required by AIM or the state of Indiana?
There's nothing required, and that might be what some of the reason why we have some of the governing going on in some of the communities, but it is highly recommended because this stuff changes all the time. And I'm not, of course, I don't get a commission for you coming to an event, right? I'm not a salesman, I'm not here to sell you anything.
Right.
But I can't tell you how important AIM was to me. When I first got elected mayor in 2011, I went to my first mayor's school and I drank the Kool-Aid. Because these can be lonely positions. You're surrounded by everybody. You've got each other, but at the end of the day, it's on you. You have to step up and make decisions, the tough decisions. And most of the time, you're the only one that really has any information, that really understands, where the average person hears what they hear at the coffee shop or the bar or whatever the case may be. But AIM is that place where you can come where everybody's going through a lot of similar situations. I don't know if you're on the listserv, the email listserv. So if you have a question, you can register for the listserv and you can shoot that out all over the state and they can answer that. Or you can just text me that question and then I can try to shoot that out for you on your behalf. But unfortunately, that's a long-winded answer. No, there is no requirement. Now, the clerk treasurer's position, it is becoming harder and harder. So as mayor of the city, I had to work with my clerk treasurer, okay? And most of the time, we saw we saw things the same way, but not always. But I will say this, since I've left the mayor's office, and I've been on the road, and I've worked in a lot of these towns where a lot of times the clerk treasurer is the one that's in contact with the people. They are the person that has to answer a lot of the questions. Sure, they can see you somewhere, but they are kind of the face of the community. I have a new appreciation for the clerk treasurer's position. And I'm not here, I'll send you an invoice for $20 after this, but you have a very well-respected clerk treasurer. Mallory is very well-respected and she is very involved in AIM. She does a lot of training. She asks a lot of questions. And she's very knowledgeable about the actual operations on how to run the town. So she's an example of somebody that has gone above and beyond her mandatory training from the state. And I highly recommend that anybody else, and you don't have to do it all the time, right? We're part-time board members. We all have jobs. We all have things. We all have families. We can't just do this full-time, right? Like a full-time mayor. So, but take advantage of those resources, whether it's a webinar. I know a couple of you have attended our AIM regional roundtables when we come a couple times a year. A newly elected official, we have boot camp where you can come up for a couple of days or even one day. Some stay the night, some don't. Some can look at the agenda and say, hey, this pertains to me, to my community, and that's what I'd like to do. And if you have a question on any of the agendas or something, hey, Clint, what do you think would be beneficial for me as a board member? What do you think would be beneficial for my town to move it forward? Absolutely, reach out. That's what I'm here for, a resource to you. So.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions other than trying to get some legislation so you get some riverboat money?
Yeah.
And are there actually any requirements? No, but highly, highly, highly recommended that you continue your education and networking and learning what other communities are doing, to pattern yourself after that to be successful.
All right.
Okay? I'll pass out a card, and I'm gonna stick around for a little bit and eavesdrop and kind of on the rest of your meeting and see what you got going on. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been told, I've been told that, Craig McGowan says hello.
Oh, yes, yes, I know.
We met with him today.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, you met with the best. Craig is, 19 years with the USDA. So he's had a lot of federal experience with, he's done a lot of sewer work, a lot of infrastructure, helping find funds. He's very knowledgeable with SRF, the State Revolving Fund, the IFA, the Indiana Finance Authority. In the company now, he's gone from the government side here to the private side. They're probably one of the absolute best when it comes to water and wastewater in the state. So
We're looking forward to working with him.
yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge, for sure.
All righty, let's move on to old business. Old State property, RDC. We have, done a lot of things with the Old State house. We removed a back staircase, removed the screens on the porch, the new receptacles on the first floor. We put in a new electrical system. It's looking good. I mean, we're ordering signage. Right now, we're waiting for quotes for the ADA parking and the ramp for the front door. So, I mean, we're well within the insurance money that we have left of, 17 grand? Somewhere in that neighborhood. So that's, if anybody's got any questions as far as what we're doing or why we're doing it.
I do have a question on that.
All
Are
right.
we officially moving the town clerk's office to?
That was what we voted on last month.
I know we did, but I think there's been some problems with that.
And those would be what?
That the town council can't tell the clerk treasurer where to have her office.
Well, we can't, but we can provide an office, and there is an ordinance in place right now that the clerk shall occupy that office if one is available.
I think we should have some conversation amongst us because I don't think the clerk treasurer wants that office.
So what do you want to do, tear the house down? We've had this discussion in the
I
RDC
know we
meetings.
have. I know we have, and I was in favor of that, thinking that she would want that office. But as it turns out, she doesn't.
For what reasons?
I don't know that she has to have a reason.
I can go either way. It's fine.
And I'm not, we're in a bad spot here. We're trying to salvage a house and we're trying to come up with some good reason to do it. And I was in favor of that. But if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it.
For what reasons?
That's my-
Should we do away with the ordinance that's had been in place for, I don't know, 15, 20 years?
That's not our ordinance, that's a state.
That's not what, I'm sorry.
It's not ours, that's a state ordinance.
Okay, but it is an ordinance.
Well, we have the opportunity to provide the office space, and we all talked about, we would each have an office in the building also.
We wanted it, yeah. Files would be all in one
I'll
place.
put all the files in one place.
It would be, it's just a bad situation. We're trying to salvage a house. And then I like the idea of the clerk treasurer going there. I really do. But if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. It's an expensive way. I think we're spending $1 to save a nickel.
You might like getting your house back, because the office takes over a large amount of your home.
Maybe some discussion or a special meeting or something to this effect would be beneficial. Because I think we're all looking for what's in the best interest of Darmstadt, but I don't know that we're all exactly on the same page.
The office is fine.
The office is fine.
I mean, it's gonna cost a lot of money right when you know of all these cuts. obviously gonna double, triple the cost of that property now for us, but, yeah, that's fine. It makes it easier.
Well, once again, I would say, I think some discussion amongst the board would be good as to what it is exactly we want here.
It's all been discussed in the RDC meetings, in the RDA meetings. It's been in our council meeting. We've discussed it. We've beat it to death for the last year, maybe longer.
Yeah, and trying to figure out why to keep this house.
Well, we need to have a vote in a public meeting though, to at least be compliant, since the last one was a unanimous vote to tear it down. And then there's been no meeting minutes for what happened since then, so I need something.
Well, then Angie hasn't typed the minutes up yet.
Yeah, because if these invoices arrive from these construction companies, how do I know where to pay them from?
We were collecting them and we'll give them to you and let you know what they're for. That's what we voted on last month.
And title to that property is in the RDC's name, right? It's the redevelopment commission owns that property.
The
The RDA owns the debt.
RDA's will rent it to us or leasing it, whatever.
Wait, so the RDA, I thought just issued the debt, and the RDC owned the title. And I can look this up, but I just don't know if you can off the top of your head. I
Yeah,
thought the
the
RDC owned it. Regardless, it's either the RDA or the RDC.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the farmer subleasing it from.
Yeah. Kind of sort of subleasing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can have more meetings. I mean, we've had many already. Last month, we took a vote and it was voted.
Yes?
We had one abstain and 3 yeses. And everybody's got we're all favorable in doing this.
We being RDC?
Or we being the council last month
We voted last month.
and the RDC. I've got emails from you, I've got Jim Croce, I've got Jim, I mean, we got everybody that's in favor of doing this. I mean,
The
for 5 years.
RDC and the
Yeah, they
town
can turn it
board,
into an office.
but the RDC and the town board does not have any authority over the clerk treasurer. She is her
No,
own
but
elected
they- yeah,
official,
but they-
and she can have her office wherever she wants it, and she don't want it there.
We haven't even discussed this.
I thought that was the exact purpose of all this.
I think you should just go to the next topic.
I can show that book right there. Have you looked at any of the ordinances in that book, resolutions, anything? You can go in there and read it. It said, we provide an office and the clerk treasurer shall be in that office. It's not may, it's shall. Okay?
They can turn it into the office building.
But you're saying you're not gonna occupy that office. Is that what you're saying?
No, because it would make it a lot easier to meet with everyone I have to meet with all the time.
Sure.
I had a
All the files would be in the same place?
I'll still keep all the files down here, because town halls are that long, but that's where the auditors are.
Well, right now, we're planning on moving the files to one of those rooms there, so everything's all in one spot.
Is your intent then for that house to become the town hall and this to become a maintenance facility? Is that another way of putting it?
Pretty much, except for the meeting each month. I mean, this is 99% of the big meeting, this
Well,
building is maintenance.
Wherever the meeting is town hall.
Not necessarily. I mean, it can be. You guys can designate what you want. I mean,
As long as there's room for the public to attend.
Right here, isn't
In the room.
I mean, there's room in there for, if you got private meetings that you want to meet with someone, anybody come down from Ames during the middle of the month.
The front room of the house is probably the biggest room.
I mean, for the last 5 years, we've paid insurance for that house, we paid utilities on that house, and we've thrown thousands of dollars away without any use for that house at all. It's out there and let it deteriorate.
Nobody made a decision for what.
And we
5
still
years.
want to discuss it further after we've already made a decision on what we're gonna do with that house. We took a vote, it was decided upon, this is what we're gonna do with the house. Now we wanna discuss it further. We can kick that can down the road just so far, and you got, somebody's gotta pick the can up and put it away. And that's what we did last month. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, Cecil,
Okay.
because what I understood is that our clerk treasurer did not want to be in that house.
We did not even discuss that.
And again, reasoning of what's reasoning. She said she didn't, where are you getting your information?
Well, I got the information straight from Mallory herself that she did not want to be in the Old State Roadhouse.
Doesn't seem like she agrees with you.
Long time ago.
I guess I'm mistaken.
Well, my plans right now are to continue our plans like we voted on and approved last month. I mean, I don't know why I shouldn't, unless you can come up with a reason why.
I have none at this point, apparently.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to number 2 in old business, the Emerald Water and Sewer Utility Mag Reader reading update.
Maybe I'll do a global litigation slash legal report here. I've been speaking for several weeks here with the Evansville Water Sewer Utility attorney, pressing our concerns over the calibration. As you guys all know, that I have put this into 2 buckets in terms of complaints. One, we have how are rates calculated, and then how are the calibration issues handled going. Today, I worked with Cecil, sort of put in written format the phone conversations I've been having with Marco, their attorney. I wanted to get that to them today because their utility board was meeting later today. You know, in terms of how things are calculated, you guys as a board, as you all know, you need to engage a financial advisor to really crunch those numbers. You know the story there. We've engaged some, didn't work out. So I'm looking to you guys, Mallory, you, the town council, to engage somebody on that front to move forward on that piece. Calibration is a different story because I think we have real clear documentation and evidence that hasn't been handled well. Now, just because it's not calibrated right, that doesn't mean we have evidence, here's how much we're being overcharged, which is a challenge when you try and determine what damages are. But we can, I think, conclusively say, we've asked repeatedly to show that this has been assessed and calibrated on an annual basis. We don't have evidence of that. And what calibration we do have that's been done appears to be not incomplete. Again, those are problematic. I think you could go to a judge and the judge could say, yeah, this doesn't meet what's required under the contract. Okay, here's your judgment, but what are the damages? That's a challenge. So I think, and then of course, as you guys know, we have, on top of all of this, a discussion, an exploration of them, for lack of a better word, taking over the utility and running it. So I think it's at a point with the EWSU of, you know, I really want to just constantly check in and get your temperature because sometimes I get different feedbacks. You know, do you want to move forward with that? Do you want to continue dating in order to get married with them? And then to what extent and what posture do you want to have from a litigation standpoint? And, you know, for obvious reasons, that's an executive session topic. I think we could have a Zoom session if you guys are open to that. But again, I mean, I'm pressing the case. I'm not, you know, with EWSU. I mean, it's sort of it's up to you guys now to tell me what it is you want to do, which is, you know, hey, let's continue to go down this road of marrying and getting married, getting hitched, and at the same time pressing, although I'll tell you the answers we've gotten are the answers we've gotten. You know, we just have to have a discussion about this in terms of how you guys want to proceed.
You want me to schedule a meeting?
I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Second one is on the spot. You know, I think we had, just as a reminder, we sent a demand letter early this year. Then this summer, you guys had me send one to Centerpoint, but it turns out Centerpoint wasn't on point for that, no pun intended. So this fall, and September, you guys had instructed, hey, let's move forward. Very beginning of October, I asked my litigator associates to get cracking on a complaint. I want to apologize because I thought that had been further down the road than it was. So I've cracked the whip and have asked that gets done here within the next week, that we have a complaint to file that. So that is on us. I had been under the wrong impression of where that was internally in our space.
Now, what we told on the spot was pretty concise, wasn't it? I mean, as far as.
Yeah, I mean, we sent a demand letter, which we have to do before we file suit.
Right.
In fact, I think we sent, well, I know we mailed it and emailed it. We may have even sent a second. I have to go back and look, but we've done our due diligence in terms of notice, and they didn't follow through. I'll go ahead and if it's okay, well, I'll wait. I got a new business item too, but I'll wait till that. So that's it from my legal and old business.
Can we go back to the mag meters? You
Sure.
know, the north mag meter is down, and it's still down. Is there not something we can complain to IURC? Is there not a deadline they need to fix it? Can they average us forever on that bill?
The part came in today.
Yeah, that came in today, so that's gonna be there.
I mean, it's already been 5 months. It's been a long time.
Well, I think when they advised us that the head was bad was in September 25th. Was when automated enclosures said, hey, it's bad. And after Josh was talking to them today, the part ironically came in today, and they want to switch. They want to turn off everything on the north meter so that they can repair that. So everything's going to be on the south meter. So supposedly next week's when they're supposed to repair it.
Okay, because you know, I just sent you guys that bill again yesterday. That was estimated again. And that's, since May, we've been estimated.
Yeah.
And they're still adding the $10,000 mandate on the estimation.
I'll also remind you that our contract with EWSU is, roughly speaking, it's got 2 years left. And,
Where you guys leave that, is there anything we can do about the smell down there? It's getting worse.
We used to. We used to go down there and seal it ourselves, and then they raised hell with us, messing with their equipment, and told us not to do it anymore. So now it smells.
It's really bad now.
I know.
Briefly, I'm gonna hijack your meeting, just so I have an understanding. You treat your own wastewater treatment plant here?
no.
Okay, so the Evansville,
It's gray water only.
okay.
We all have septic tanks.
It's an unfortunate situation where the town is dependent on and at the mercy of another larger utility.
And that's their mag meters down there that smell so bad all the time.
So there
We have no
are
control over
there
it.
are questions and concerns over how the rates have been billed consistent with the contract. And there are concerns that the meters are not calibrated properly, that are tracking the amount of sewage that's going to the utilities.
In fact, about 2 years ago, we had a sewer rate study, and the company that did that rate study for us told us that the mandate that we were being charged was not intended for the town of Darmstadt. And then since then, this company has backpedaled and now are telling us that they are in a conflict of interest because they also represent the sewer company as well. So, I think it's time for a different
We need the
company.
utility rate study to be from somewhere outside of this area, so we get somebody independent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
you would have the list of them, the contact.
Mhm.
And Baker Tilly and Reedy Financial, who are probably the two most common, are not gonna work.
No.
Yeah.
So,
My concern is the one, which I will not name, knew specific details about it, and we told them we were gonna meet to talk about sensitive items, about these rates and all these other things. They went into that meeting, they had the meeting with us, then afterwards, they said there was a conflict of interest. So they went into it, in my opinion, to gather information. And that's not right.
Nope.
They should have said that way before they ever agreed to have that phone call.
Yeah, that's another story. Yeah, and we'll discuss that tonight as far as.
And remember, I'm not just a stop once, give me a holler, we can always chat moving forward during the day, evening, whatever.
Okay, so you
Been more than
have
happy
some
to-
input on that then, all right?
Well, we'll stay in touch.
Okay, there's a yes, okay. We'll move on to the auction of the new / old Mahindra tractor.
Yep, I have an update on that. It did sell $31,200. The check should have already been here. It's not. I would think it's gonna be here within a week.
So the question with that is what do we do with the money, right?
We'll spend it, I'm sure.
I think we might have to give it back to the
I
ARPA.
contacted Debbie Bennett and she said, for now, we received it into our general fund.
Really? Okay. Cool. But keep it,
We'll just wait till the federal audit and then I'm sure they'll tell us.
to give it back
Take
to
it
ARPA.
back, yeah.
Okay.
Upgrade the old state property.
Do what?
Upgrade the old state property. There you go, almost in that one.
We'll spend it
Okay.
before they tell us to get it
Move
back.
on. Let's go.
Okay, let's bring it on to the new business. Farm territory seat.
Okay.
Eric, right now, SU. I mean, will you stay on the farm territory? Yeah, I will. Okay, good. Keith was concerned, if, new year coming up, wanted to make sure that everything was still good. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's handled. Thank you. Yeah. Farm territory lit payments starting in 2026.
Yeah, that's the one, I talked to State Board of Accounts today, and they said we receive it into our general, we get the two different lits, we get regular lit and the public safety lit. Public safety is only 3,000 a month, so that's not covered.
Right.
And, we can pay it out of the general,
Okay.
just to make sure we're being compliant with the regulations.
We probably need to discuss this in detail in another meeting. I mean, Keith is a wealth of knowledge on this. And I mean, as far as what's taken place in the past when we had our original farm territory,
It'll be similar to the bond, except we're gonna be paying this one monthly. The
Right.
bond I pay once every 6 months.
right.
It'll be similar to that, because it sounds like we're just gonna be going back and being the middleman.
Right. But see, I noticed last year, I went back and did some checking, it didn't look like we paid anything into the farm territory. Except what was, I mean, there's nothing in the budget and there's nothing in the actual, for your report.
Because you just signed it last year to start it for 2026.
The new territory.
Yes.
Right, but we had
The
one that
old
was in,
territory did
we
not
had one that was in
include
place since 2015. That was supposed to have received lit funds as well.
No, this is a new thing with the reestablishment.
I understand this one's a new one, but we also had one in place prior to that.
I think the old
That had
trustee did
nothing
not.
to do with it.
Yeah, the old trustee didn't bill us for that. And it was supposed to be lit funds. Some were deposited directly from, I guess, the state into the farm territory. And there was supposed to be an additional billing, like we're gonna start again in 2026, but the old trustee didn't do it. So we actually got by with almost 10 years of it.
Not really, we didn't have the lit funds back then.
It was called something, a COIT.
Okay,
It wasn't lit at that time, so.
It's the same thing, just a different
Yeah.
name. It's
that's what it used to
county
be
option
called.
income tax now.
So it's a big oversight, basically, for the last 10 years. And Keith said he's not gonna dig back and try to make any way, we start 2026, correct? I mean, so it's not anything in addition to what we should have been paying for the last 10 years.
Yeah, they reviewed all that. I sent them the entire contract this morning.
Right,
It's
and
the Board of
everything's-
Accounts.
On the up and up.
It starts on the 26th, and then Baker Tilly reviewed it, Paige Sandstone, and she said the way she read it, it expires December 2027.
Mhm.
So it's only for 24 months.
So I guess we need to discuss whether we want Baker Tilly to continue, but we'll discuss that. SCA, which is what, one cuts to our town revenue starting next year. Is that same as the, this, what is it?
Senate Bill 1.
Senate Bill 1. I looked at both of them, they're one and the same.
That's pretty much covered. the
Yeah,
whole thing.
it did,
They're just-
yeah. $300 savings to all the residents, and we take it in the shorts.
But it's, yeah, it affects all the cities. and
It just depends. The issue right now, the biggest issue with SCA 1 is there's so much uncertainty. Legislation was passed, but they have no numbers. They've said, here, you're probably gonna lose something, do more with less. Well, how much are we gonna lose? Well, I don't know. So that's one of the things we're trying to address as well. We think certain counties around the state are starting to get those numbers because the lit distributions are gonna be based on your population. So it's gonna be off GIS, where they parcel. The only way to really know is to parcel by parcel by parcel, everybody in your town limits. Go to the Department of Revenue, find out how much they're paying in local income tax, and then to see how that, can be distributed. So still a lot of uncertainty there. Yeah.
Great news. Great news. All right. Let's go on to contract with an engineering firm. Talk to both our superintendents today. I mean, what do we want to accomplish by contract, having a engineering firm on retainer?
Well, you probably wouldn't need one on retainer, just as needed, but,
Right.
According to all of our agreements, every single new sewer tap should have been tested by Commonwealth. That was in our agreement. And that is part of what we charge our residents, is included in there. And when our superintendents changed over, the previous one left and was not here to train the new one. So the new ones just started with not any information at all.
Okay.
I don't think they realized for the last 10 years, they were supposed to be testing for every new sewer tap.
So sewer tap's the only issue here? I mean,
Well, anything, the I&I, the pumps, I mean, you can,
well, we're working on the I&I,
Look at
working on the
anything,
pumps.
but that's just a normal thing, they should be attending the meetings with the other superintendents. There's an MS4 meeting that's every month, It's a little more involved, you get more educated, and so you're not reinventing the wheel yourself. Because like Clint said, all the other towns are dealing with this same stuff.
Right, right.
Every single town has I&I.
In dealing with Baker Tilly and what's the other one, Westler? I mean, they want to do a smoke test. Smoke test with our system is not going to work because most of our pipes coming from our pump stations go down before they start going back up. Not all of them, about 75% of them. And smoking is not going to go down before it goes back up. So smoke testing is not going to work. That's the reason why the first one we did in 2012 resulted in nothing, basically. So we got to, I don't know. I mean, we're ordering meters to try to find out.
These are all things that you just discussed with the engineering.
But we need, I think, different ones in what's local. Baker Tilly and Westler are just, yeah, we'll find another one if everybody's okay with that.
I think maybe on engineering and financial firms, one or two of you could be deputized to do a search, analyze pros and cons, and come back with a recommendation would be what I would suggest.
Okay.
I mean, on engineering, you can structure that however you want, but it is good to have somebody that's familiar and that you have a contact for when and if you need somebody, they're on point there.
Right.
And then the
And
financial
provide
issues speak
those
for,
lists for us too. I mean,
and the financial firms kind of speaks for itself.
Which is basically the next item on new business. I've contacted one that is giving us a letter here as far as Reedy. I'm not impressed with. I mean, they don't respond to emails, at least not to me. They're doing a lot of things for us right now, and basically, the conflict of interest deal bothers me somewhat. I don't know how long it's been a conflict of interest, but they did a pretty in-depth sewer rate study for us and was involved with some other items before they bowed out. Do we want to discuss these other ones in a special meeting? Unless somebody else has got some information now from other companies.
I don't think it's, I mean, just find somebody reputable that's out of the area and should be doing it.
I like Josh's, that suggestion that maybe a couple of us, check into it and come up with some recommendations
Okay.
and go with it, I'd be willing to help.
Okay.
Would you, or Ray, or Eric, or whoever,
On the engineering firm side of things, Mallory and I met today with Craig McGowan. He is with Commonwealth, and he had a lot of good information. Back in January, we had a special meeting, and we talked, because Mick and Aaron were both here at that meeting. And I asked, how long does a septic tank last? And Mick just threw out a number. And I asked about it afterwards, because I thought he just threw a number out because he was wanting to get the meeting over with. The engineer, Craig, at the meeting today, gave the exact same number Mick gave. Septic tank lasts about 40 years. 40? 40. When this sewer system was put in, most of these septic tanks were already 40 years old. And that could be a tremendous source of our I&I. There's I&I from all over the place. I would be heavily in favor of contracting Commonwealth, and we're wanting to try to have them meet here on the December meeting and explain to us at no cost how we can address this, because unless we take this I&I on and quit chasing our tails, we will never solve this problem. And we cannot charge people for 2 million gallons and pay to disperse of 4 million gallons. We got a major problem, and it's not coming from the well users. It's coming from everywhere. That's all I got to say.
Okay. I will add to that the first well user that we put one of these meters on was using 19,000 gallons a month instead of the 4,000 that we billed them for.
Yep. And Mick gave me a list of names that afternoon when he took me on a tour, and that is the one that I picked out to look at.
Okay. So thank you for that. Now, I'm sure there's other ones out there just like
They are,
that one.
but it's not from just well users.
Okay, so you want to have the residents pay to have their septic tanks replaced? The septic tanks are our responsibility.
I know, and that was talked about today.
And you know how that's going to go over.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of stuff that we need to talk about that we never talked about. And they can't all be done at these meetings.
Okay, so Crystal, you're going to be looking into engineering firms and financial institutions?
I can.
You can? Okay,
I'd like a helper.
okay. Anybody else want to be that second person? I don't think so. Harry?
I'm not in a position to give any more time.
I'll do it. I've already got somewhere already, so, we'll get together and we'll schedule a special meeting to discuss that. And, I'm not in favor of any local companies, I will tell you that, Commonwealth or any of them. Because they're all in cahoots with, the one company that we're having issues with right now. I mean, you talk about, the water meters, how many water meters we got in town and how many times are they calibrated a year, and they're building off of these meters? They're not calibrated at all. How accurate are those? So those are other questions that no one's going to have an answer for. So, again, that's another meeting, I guess. Number 6, new business, MOU for township sharing a local road and street distributions.
I mentioned this before by email that in order to receive that, there will be an agreement needed Actually, the township would typically be the one to draft that, but I think you guys wanted to move this along, and just to be efficient, I went ahead and drafted a form. There's no action right now. That needs to be filled in with each township name and then with the formula, and then you guys approve it. So once the township approaches you and is ready to distribute that, we've got an agreement ready for them to revise. That's all there is to it at this point.
Okay.
Is it supposed to be all four, or does it matter?
No, you'll have one with each township.
Okay, even though it's just a sliver, kind of,
Yeah, it's a,
still fine?
yeah.
Or how it's supposed to be, okay.
So are we gonna contact them, or are they gonna contact us? How's that gonna take place?
Mallory, are you in contact with the townships to get that funding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd suggest reaching out to them to find out when you'll get that, or what the timing is on that. I don't know what the timing is on the distribution.
I don't either.
Okay.
So what do we do to rectify that?
Call and find out.
Who is this coming from? Is this,
From the town, the township is paying the town, right? I mean,
is this like a new state law, or
yeah.
where did it come from?
Yeah. Would it help if I called the contact townships? Would that be helpful? I'll do that.
Well, we could just, yeah, learn a little bit more about it.
Okay,
so we
because-
know.
I know nothing. I
What
mean,
it is.
I can do it if you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. I'm making notes here. Attorney comments.
Yeah, I think I've covered it under the other topics.
Board member comments. Crystal.
Well, you know, we kind of have several things we need to be working on, but I'm anxious to get it organized and do what we need to do.
A lot to do.
There is. We'll just take it one step at a time.
Eric?
No comments.
Right.
No comments.
I have nothing. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. I'll hear you think. You don't have a.
I didn't even bring my bag, I've been with my card in it, so.
I see my postcards.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So, one back in Indiana. I bet you experience.
Oh, well, and you guys have a good Thanksgiving. You're good.